afternoon. Thank you all for coming. I'm Nina Kilbride. I am co-founder of CureLedger, a verifiable health data infrastructure that is powered by Avalanche and also Remedy. I'm an advisor to Remedy since 2017, where we've been building out a verifiable health layer in market, and we're ready to open it up. A little bit about me. I spent nearly 20 years as a commercial litigation attorney before about 10 years ago becoming a full-stack Web3 developer. And so I spent the last 10 years articulating financial market infrastructure and the complicated smart contracts waterfall we're going to need in order to build all these real-world asset and real-world data applications that we're all so excited about today. Another thing about me that has brought me to the CureLedger fold is that I live in Research Triangle Park, Raleigh, North Carolina, the home of the centralized research industrial complex, and I'm a rare disease mom. So I watched firsthand, as a lawyer, how the development of drugs and therapies were not utilizing any efficiency and were leaving both solutions and a lot of money on the table. So while we're here, I think this is something we're all really aware of. Healthcare data is a broken, siloed system, costs everybody a lot of money in life, and it costs a lot of quality of life points all around the world. And in addition to that, the innovation and the value that healthcare can actually bring to people's lives is not distributed amongst the humans on the planet who can benefit from it. And so by utilizing blockchain technology, Remedy, since 2017, has been building out compliance primitives for clinical research and clinical trials. We have these things in market for years. But for several years, this platform has been operating live on Avalanche because it's a great place to build such a high-stakes use case. So the CureLedger solution uses three Avalanche L1s, a P chain, a C chain, and then a custom chain to shard data onto separate blockchains, and then we use a token to coordinate and deliver that data to the marketplace. So CureLedger licenses Remedy's proven in market with the top of healthcare, FDA, WHO, all kinds of proof in market, lots of customers. We have data on chain. Laboratories are our main customers. Why we're on Avalanche is over the couple of years when we launched, we discovered that Avalanche gave us the best way to build business transactions at gaming speed and custom configuration to build a complicated legal tech app like this. So we have high throughput, a lot of flexibility. Like we said, we use a P chain, a C chain, and then a custom chain. And we're able to deliver this data to the market where it needs to be, anywhere on the planet, securely and safely. So we're on 3 subnets. You can go and check these out. Here are our block explorers. We'll have identity, compliance, and then transactions. So the mission here is to empower DeSci companies to go take all of this good mojo that they've got right now, and the funding and the excitement that we're seeing with companies that are coming out of like BioDAOs and Curetopia, et cetera. How do we empower those projects to succeed and get to market and let DeSci be a real thing that really helps improve lives? So we know we've made a lot of progress. We've already impacted 1 million lives around the planet. We've been in over 1,200 locations. We've had some really important projects happen. For example, we participated with the WHO in Mongolia to eradicate hepatitis C. In Mongolia, it has the highest incidence of hepatitis C in the world, and we were able to utilize blockchain-enhanced supply chains along with our verifiable identity product, to make sure that diagnoses and cures and follow-up treatment were delivered to the people who needed it. One of the features of the platform that enables us to do a lot of innovative things that when you go talk to people in old school research, old school science, they're like, well, I'm not sure you understand. Zero knowledge proofs help us create and configure novel kinds of use cases so that we can level past the existing roadblocks we have in terms of how do we reuse identity. Because right now, or reuse data and protect identity. Because right now, in order to reuse data, at least in the United States, more often than not, what happens is we as patients will just give our data away. We're not even aware that we are participating in a data economy when we're going and we're getting healthcare. But when we utilize zero knowledge proof to deal with identity sensitive processes, we're able to configure conditional re-identification and other types of innovations that help us reconfigure the incentives. So some of the use cases that have been built on CureLedger so far, one this is really important one is how do we take all the data that we've got about what a given drug is good for, and take that data, reuse it so that we can develop other cures for other diseases. This is called drug repurposing, and it's one of the more important things that people are talking about in DeSci right now. We've got a company, Public Good Pharma, that's built on us. One of the things that they've done with our technology is create a digital formulary that enables them to do remote manufacture and delivery of drugs. And for example, one of their most impactful things that kind of is a heart warmer is they have opened a plant in sub-Saharan Africa that manufactures nevirapine. That is a drug that is, you give it to a pregnant woman with HIV and she takes it during her pregnancy, the baby will be born without HIV. And so the ability to not only diagnose, manufacture, deliver, and follow-up care, that did not exist and does not exist in sub-Saharan Africa before blockchain technology. And in addition to that, counterfeit drugs are a huge problem there that kill a whole lot of people. So what Public Good Pharma is doing is really some of the highest use cases of blockchain technology. Another project that is, this is the big use case for DeSci is verifiable health data. The verifiable health data market right now is about $10 billion a year, and it's going to grow about 9 to 10% a year for the next 5 to 10 years. In addition to that, we've got a whole new set of customers to drive demand. And you saw one of those customers just before me. AI agents are the #1 customer for verifiable health data. So what we do is make sure when our companies and our customers utilize our projects and they put their data in through our system in order to make sure that it can be redelivered to the market, it is then capable of being consumed by AI so that AI can grade that data for how reliable it is for reuse in clinical research and applications in healthcare. And so as we see DeSci begin to scale, it's the combination of this production of verifiable data that we do with companies like CureLedger and AminoChain, which creates specimens and labs, from labs, and we deliver those to a marketplace where AI customers are able to go source the data that they need based on meta tags, whatever, to go and achieve a job. So Kite AI, who just talked before us, I saw them over at the D-Side pitch a couple of hours ago, and they talked about how they made like 20 million AI wallets on Avalanche. What those AI agents need is a job to do and good, solid data to do it with, and that's what we deliver to them. So a few more use cases that have developed on Remedy and now CureLedger. We've got decentralized clinical trials. Now these are really important because, like I said, where I come from, Raleigh, this is what we do for a living. It's our bread and butter. We develop biotech and pharma. Very slow, very expensive. Duke and UNC get $600 million a year in grants from the federal government in order to do these things. And most of that data is just wasted. And if over 5 years and a few $1 billion, a drug doesn't get to market, that data just is buried. It's gold in the ground. There's nothing we can do with it. Things have changed over the last few years that we can't reuse that data, but we don't really have systems until now, blockchain and decentralization, that can create verifiable delivery. So we connect participants in trials, researchers and sponsors transparently. Moderna clinical trials ran on our platform during the pandemic, and we were considered the best in class of how to do digital identity for healthcare. So here's a use case that I'm going to talk about that makes me, it gets me fired up for a couple of reasons. Patient data sovereignty, again, as Americans, we're not really aware that there really would be anything, because most of the data that gets produced during our healthcare journey is owned by the provider that got paid. That's just a HIPAA rule. So in the United States, we don't really have any patient data sovereignty. Why is this a problem? I don't know if y'all have ever heard of Henrietta Lacks. So Henrietta Lacks was a woman who had breast cancer in 1951, and the research world utilized her skin cell or her cancer cells, and basically for the next 50 to 60 years, all breast cancer therapeutics that were developed came from Henrietta Lacks' cells. Of course, Henrietta never got a bit of treatment out of her data contribution. She died of breast cancer, and her family never got any compensation until like maybe 2009. That was it. So it's like 50 or 60 years. What we face today is a Henrietta Lacks problem at scale. We are all Henrietta Lacks because we all walk into our doctor's office looking for care, and we sign a bunch of paperwork, participate in a bunch of apps, a bunch of waivers, whatever. We don't really know what that means to us in terms of the patient data economy. But what we do know is that we're feeding that data into a $10 billion economy that's growing every year, and we're waiving our rights to participate both financially and in terms of finding out from a precision medicine standpoint, how does my data actually come back to improve my healthcare? We don't get that here in the United States because we don't have patient data sovereignty. There are some cracks in this economy where you can kind of find healthcare data that humans actually are sovereign. Some of that is going to be produced from non-healthcare related apps. Those are, again, that is the kind of data that is new, novel, and hasn't been used. It's real world data. Those are the ones that we will go ahead and make sure that we put the right kind of proof structures in so that AI knows how to use it when thinking about it. One quick more use case on that. I've built out a PKU MVP. I'm a rare disease mom of a kid with PKU. It is one of those tiny cracks in the American data economy where there is some patient data sovereignty. And so we're building out a full use case so that not so much that we're going to be able to revolutionize PKU, that'll be nice, but importantly, it is a transitional model that will revolutionize any full stack patient data sovereignty initiative. So what we're doing now is accelerating DeSci builders. We have open infrastructure, compliance, and legal tech. We're building out a bunch of modular compliance and data primitives for DeSci and Web3. This will make it easy for the AI to consume and find those insights it needs. We'll continue to build those things out. Just a bunch of legal things you need over the years we've developed. And for the things that we developed in financial market infrastructure, it is better put to DeSci. So next, we're going to expand our L1 validator network. We have a public testnet coming out, and we're doing market integrations. Thank you so much, and